All right, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the video. Today we're going to go through making your own DIY rear swing out tire and jerry can carrier. Doing this all basically from scratch, apart for some kits from 4x Innovations. This video is not sponsored. I bought all this stuff with my own money. I do recommend that you watch the video all the way through because there are many iterations, many mistakes made. This video is just a testament to the fact that this is the first time I've done a huge DIY project like this. I did my front bumper, but that was a kit that was laser cut, sent out to me from Coastal Off-Road. This, I just kind of figured out. I referenced a YouTube video, really excellent video by Overland Under Budget. He did a fairly similar build, didn't have the jerry can, put the swing out hinge on the opposite side of the truck, and had some different philosophies, but that was a video that I used kind of as scripture for this project. For some of the measurements that I did initially, there were some mistakes that I made, both with how long I needed to go out, and then the measurements, the dimensions of the tire carrier, things like that. If I had not made those mistakes, if I'd been more diligent up front, using the proper measurements, I'll put those in the description below as clear as I can. But yeah, guys, I hope that you find this video entertaining and informational, informative. That's the word. And let's get this project kicked off. I did not capture this on camera, but essentially this bracket was kind of like this. There was one on each side. I just took this off, cut it off with a Sawzall. It was bolted onto a longer bracket that I also cut off. And now I'm working on cutting the entire bracket off because what I want to do is attach my 2x3 by 3/16. I want to add a little plate, weld it on the side of this frame right here. And I can't do that with this uneven steel plate affixed to it. Right now I'm working on just cutting this entirely off. I just cut and pry, cut and pry. Hey, so that's cut off. Oh, and if you're curious, this is the steel. Pardon the mess in my garage, it's horrible. This is 10 feet of 2" by 3" with a 3/16 wall thickness. Nice and beefy, and only cost me $120. Next, it's just all about prepping the sides of the frame and then cutting up the metal and getting ready for the actual swing out part of it. For the cutting blade, we're using, this is upside down, the Hercules Legendary Performance blade from Harbor Freight. This is just a skill saw, 7¼ saw, and so we're using this for cutting our steel. First, we're gonna measure 7½ inches out. The swing out hinges haven't arrived in the mail yet, so right now I'm just gonna cut off the brackets that I'm gonna weld to the truck to interface with the kit that is gonna come in the mail, and then I'm gonna try and cut out as much steel as I can preemptively to get the project going. Holy cow, that cuts it like it's butter, dude. That's crazy. I might as well keep cutting steel. I know I'm gonna need a foot for the spare tire, and then I'm gonna need 8 inches for the jerry can. I'm gonna need 5 inches for some other stuff, so maybe I'll just cut up everything. All right, so we had a bit of an oopsie happen. The way that I measured out these initial 7½ brackets wasn't long enough to allow the tailgate to drop. Tailgate would have smashed down on this. So essentially what I had to do is make 3 inches more on each side to relocate where I can actually mount the swing out kit and then the receiver for the swing out arm. A little unfortunate, but I'm just tacking up everything and readjusting. So that is just more proof that I'm not a professional, and this is the very first time I have done my own very DIY cutting project. To roughly estimate the distance I need to cut for the long arm that's actually going to swing out, I'll give it 62 inches, giving it an extra inch beyond what ends there so I can fine tune and trim it up later. So that'll go like that. Kerchunk. I'm going to have to angle the spare tire out a decent amount because otherwise the tire in the can is going to hit. So if I have a 33-inch tire, that means I'm going to want, like, I should be good there. Like, the tire won't block my lights if it's mounted there, if the post is there. If the tire is like there, that means it's gonna need 15, 17-ish inches of clearance. And if I put the can there, and this is sitting like that, the can ends there, 21 inches from the tire. That should be good there. All right, let's go ahead and cut this mounting bracket for the tire mounting bracket at an angle, a double angle, to compensate for the angle that the spare tire bracket thingy is going to be at, to allow the actual tire to sit at an angle. Bend this over. Oh, jeez. This welder, dude, on its last freaking leg. For the support bracket on the tire mount, I just used a piece of scrap tubing, cut an angle into it so that it would fit appropriately. Okay, so we finished the major welding on the swing out arm, added a single layer of paint to some of the metal that I'm not going to be working on anymore. Letting that dry, and then now I'm going to cut 2" by 3" out of 3/16 steel tops, kind of covers, to cap off the openings on the end of each of my exposed tubings. 3 by 2" caps to weld on, and now I'm going to cut the short ways, and then I'll cut one long way. All right, welcome to day 2. What I've done so far today, without filming it, is I got my new welder, my replacement welder, so now my thing is not a piece of crap anymore. I added another layer of paint onto the areas of the bumper that I know I'm done working on. And then I also capped off the, let's see how hot this is. Oh, f***ing A, that's hot. Capped off the end piece that's going to capture the swing out arm, as well as welded on the latch receiver. This is our latch. It's nice and beefy, and it will mate up to this. Just to talk about the welder quick, what we're using is this like S7 super cheap stick welder. I think it's like 70 bucks off of Amazon, and we're using 6013 3/32 inch sticks, so like really small 6013 sticks. And this stuff works actually surprisingly great for the money. So essentially what you'll want to do to size this out is you'll want to measure 1 inch from the bottom. And from that inch, what you'll do is you'll take one of your 2x3s and measure it right here. And then on the other side, you're going to use a Sharpie. Then we'll want to also mark here so that we know where to cut it off so that it can bump up against there and be captured. I think I got a piece of metal. Oh yeah. Felt good. Right, admittedly, I got a little too excited with the cuts, so I had to kind of piece this thing back together. It is now assembled and ready to go onto the truck. All right, next we're gonna be doing, drumroll please, more cutting. That's right. We're gonna be cutting out an 8x8 plate for the spare tire holder. Then what I'm gonna do is measure out the distance between each lug hole. I got 2 of these 1/2" nuts and bolts. Just gonna confirm that they're gonna fit through the spare tire okay. Yes, they will. That's perfect. So it looks like the midpoint of where the holes need to be is exactly 5.5 inches. Here. Drill pilot holes in there. All right, sorry folks, my camera wasn't recording, but I measured out 5.5 inches and then tried to keep it even on both sides here. For the initial drilling, got a pilot hole in, that's a 3/16, and then almost finished that first hole, but my drill battery is kind of crappy, so I have to let it charge now. Oh yeah, sweet. So as you can see, I drew a Sharpie line right here, highlighting where I need to cut out to fit to the hinge kit. We angle grind it with a cutting blade, and then we'll use the grinder disc to kind of sand it out, fine tune it, and whatnot. this is the moment of truth. Hopefully I should be able to finish today. Dang, this is a thick boy. Let's see how it mates up to the cut that I did. That could be better. Better for sure. We'll just tidy that up a bit then. Alright, so first we're going to figure out where to put this guy. There. Maybe a little further back. Here I just had to grind down the cylinder cuts that I made to mate up to the steel tube a little bit better and fit it so that I could come in contact with more steel. Next, we were able to finish out drilling that hole with that 1¼ inch circular saw bit. Using some needle nose pliers, I held the nut in place, tacked it in, and then sealed it in with finish weld. Ground down around it to smoothen things out, and then test fit the actual hinge assembly. All right, we'll cut it there. Used the grinder to tidy up the weld-on addition that I made to the bar. Next, I made the cut to size out the bar so that it would fit into the receiver. And then I test fit the bar to see how everything would fit up. I would recommend adding the skid plate after everything is finished, painted up, and not doing it at this phase. For greasing the bearings, I just used a tube of red bearing grease and then did the old-fashioned way of packing bearings by hand. When you're mounting the jerry can, make sure that it's oriented in the opposite direction that I have here. I had to go back after the fact and change the orientation of it. Also, as you can see, the can is sitting a little too close to the tire for aesthetic purposes. Okay, so technically we wouldn't have to do this stuff if I had measured right and just done everything precisely the first time. But what we're going to do is I want this tire to be higher, and it's also at an angle too far out, so I can bring it in closer to the truck, if that makes sense. After that, I'm going to have to flip the jerry can holder, flip it this way, move it this way a tiny bit, and then we're going to have to cut this off, add a spacer essentially, weld that on, and then correct an angle and bring it in closer to the truck. Adding this roughly 2.5 inch spacer helped adjust for the height, but also adjust for the angle. Cut off the can holder using a Sawzall and my angle grinder, ground down the welds from the other side, and then started getting to work. As you can see, I'm wearing a respirator because there was still paint on the bar. When you weld with paint, the fumes can be quite dangerous. So we're going 1/4 inch here. When painting, I applied 3 to 4 coats on all of the areas. Make sure to use Loctite on all the little screws to prevent them from backing out. So I obviously did a horrible job of filming this and capturing it, but you essentially want to swing out the arm to its 90-degree line, hold it there, keep it in place, and then you want to tack the T-handle onto it. Once you finish tacking, remove the plastic T-handle by unscrewing that nut. Otherwise, if you keep it in there, the plastic will melt from the heat. And then do the finish welds, and then you should be good to go. All right, so here we are with the finished product. I'll just demonstrate opening it up for you. And you gotta give it a little pressure up there. Swings open and locks into place. I had to remove the kick plate. The swing out arm wouldn't actually go up far enough because I have to kind of lift it up to lock it in there. The swing out arm kind of wants to sag. Angle from here, it kind of goes down a bit. That is from some of the weight, but also I did mount this guy at a slight forward angle, just slightly. If I could go back, I'd probably mount this kind of at a backwards angle, so it would kind of come up a little bit more, but it's okay. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that this video might have inspired you to embark on doing a swing out build for yourself. It's not actually all that hard. It just takes some time, some measuring and double checking things, as well as the tools. If you guys like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you in the next one.